Hello everyone, welcome to Tathastu and welcome to our class wherein we are going to solve MCQs of the current affairs. And this class is being presented by me. My name is Khushboo. Let's get started with the very first question of the day, and the question is with reference to Haliaeetus leucogaster. Consider the following statements. The very first statement is the species discovered in Southeast Asia is known as the white-bellied sea eagle. Second statement is there's a distinct difference in size between males and females, with females slightly outweighing males. Third statement says mainly relying on diet of fish, these eagles are considered piscivorous. Fourth statement is the IUCN Red List classifies it as endangered. So you have to find out that how many of these statements are correct over here. So the answer of this question is option B. Only two statements are correct, and which statement is wrong? So that is the third one. So here this coastal raptors make power towers their home. So they are making their power towers their home, which is very obvious. If you are going to cut off the trees, where they will stay, where they will make their nest, where they will make their homes. So this is very obvious. So white-bellied sea eagle, scientifically known as the Haliaeetus leucogaster, is a large diurnal bird of prey. So this is a diurnal bird. Here this name is actually white-bellied sea eagle. So you can obviously understand that where it is residing, the habitat is seaside only, white-bellied. So here you can see the whole belly portion, that is the white only. So that is why the name is like that. That's quite easy, but the scientific name is little difficult though. Well, their habitat spans across the Southeast Asia from southern China to Australia and Tasmania, and from India to New Guinea. So this is the location where their habitat you can find. Their main diet, obviously from here only you can see this bird is actually carrying a fish. So their main diet is the fish only. They may also consume water birds, small mammals and the carrion as well. Now in the statement it was given that it is the endangered one, but no, it is of the least concern status. Let's move on to the next question. Next question is consider the following statements. The very first statement is in a 5G network, numerous software driven technologies like NFV, SDN and the segregation of control plane and user plane are integrated. Second statement is zero-day attacks occur when cyber attackers leverage vulnerabilities in computer programs that have already been resolved and fortified by software developers. So you have to find out that which of these statements are correct over here. Choose your answer accordingly. So here the answer is option A. Only first statement is correct over here. Second statement is incorrect. Okay, so first statement is correct. A 5G network integrates various software centric technologies and like the NFV, SDN and the separation of control plane and user plane. Why it was in news? Because the IIT Madras, they have actually developed the software solution for attacks on the 5G networks, which is very frequently being seen. So they have developed something like this. Now zero-day attacks occur when hackers take advantage of the software vulnerabilities before the developers have an opportunity to release a solution or patch for those weaknesses. Because obviously the hackers, they always look for some kind of the loopholes so that they can attack, they can hack. Attack in the sense not attack mode, but basically they are hacking the software, right? So they will look after those loopholes and all, and they before the developers could do anything related to those bugs, those kind of problems, they are done. The hackers are done with their work. Next question, with reference to megaliths, consider the following statements. The very first statement is these structures were built either for the purpose of burying individuals or as memorials to commemorate events. Second is, in India, the majority of these megaliths are attributed to the Iron Age, which spans from 1500 BC to 500 BC. Third is, concentrations of these structures can be found in the Indian states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So how many of these statements are correct related to the megaliths? This is quite easy. Here the answer is option C. All these statements are correct over here. Pipeline work leads to vast megalithic site in Kerala. So here basically they were doing the pipeline work, but in that process only they found the megalith sites. So quite good. Megaliths were created for two main purposes. First of all, the burial grounds, or as the sepulchral commemorative memorials. So here the main reason they see, when it comes to the megaliths, these megaliths were basically these kind of new ideas they come up for the burial sites basically, right? Megaliths, mega means huge, liths means stones. So they basically come up with some idea, like in order to mark some place that this is the burial site, okay? In order to mark a place that this is the burial site, in order to do that, they used to install huge stones over there, so that from the far away from far only you can recognize that yes, there is some kind of the cemetery or anything like that, okay? Or you can say that yes, there is burial of some person and all, okay? Apart from that, in this particular megalithic period only, you can see that these people, they used to install like in between only. Just for an example, this is the place wherein they have buried some body, okay? In this particular place they have buried the body, and around this particular site only you will find small stones, then a little bit bigger stones, and then huge stones. This again they used to do it in order to mark that there is some kind of burial site over there, right? So these were basically done for the burial site. Now burial megaliths include the dolominoid cysts, cairn circles and the capstones, which contain actual burial remains. So those were the actual burial remains, just now I told you. Now these capstones, distinct from their mushroom shape, are predominantly found over there in the Kerala. So these were basically that of the mushroom shape. So that is the reason why these are called as the capstones, and these you can find it over there in the Kerala specifically. Okay. Now when it comes to the India megalith time period 1500 to 500 BCE, you can find. Next question, consider the following statements. The very first statement is, within the Lok Sabha, Rule 256 enables the suspension of members who engage in disruptive behavior. Second is, rule of the Houses of Parliament are framed under Article 118 of the Constitution. So which of these are correct? Choose your answer accordingly. So if the answer is option B, that is second statement is only correct. The first statement is wrong over here. Why it was in news? Because of this thing, illegal, irrational, unconstitutional, the problem with recent suspensions of the MPs. So this is the one why it was in news. So in the Lok Sabha, disruptions caused by the members can lead to their suspension also, because if you are not letting Parliament to do their regular business and every time you are interfering, then definitely this kind of things can happen by using rule number 374. Whereas when it comes to the Rajya Sabha, the same thing can be done by using rule number 256. Okay. Now the statement 2 is correct over here, so no need to discuss that. Question number 5, consider the following statements about overseas borrowings. The very first statement is, when there exists a difference in the interest rates between the domestic and international markets, servicing loans abroad becomes more expensive. Second is, in the event of a decrease in the value of domestic currency against a foreign currency, the company might need to pay more than initially anticipated in real terms. So you have to find out which of these statements are incorrect. Okay, simple. So here the answer of this question is option A, that is the first statement is only incorrect over here. Overseas borrowing, a double-edged sword over here. So do dhari talwar. So borrowing in foreign currencies is supported by the argument that when there is difference in the interest rates, when it comes to the domestic and the foreign ones, if there is a difference in the interest between the domestic and foreign markets, it becomes more economical to manage the loan repayments, because you can obviously borrow accordingly, that wherever the less of the interest you are supposed to pay, you can do that, right? However, it's important to recognize that the borrower still remains exposed to the exchange rate fluctuations over here despite the favorable interest rate scenario, because if at some time, you know, this not some time but many a times this exchange rate, these exchange rates keeps on fluctuating. Okay, so in this scenario, what if the exchange rates costs way higher as compared to if you had borrowed from the domestic market itself, right? So in that particular case, it might backfire over here. It might and it might not also, because all these things depends on the market itself. So you cannot say this thing that what will happen in the future. So that is the reason that it is being said as the double-edged sword. In the scenario where the domestic currency depreciates compared to the foreign currency, the company might end up paying more than initially anticipated in the real terms. So that can also happen, right? So this is also a kind of problem over here, that obviously if your domestic currency depreciates according to the, suppose just for an example, you borrowed in dollars itself, and at that particular time the interest rates, if you had calculated the loan, the principal and the interest over on that was quite less as compared to if you had borrowed from the domestic market, right? But because of the exchange rate fluctuations, and because of the currency which has actually depreciated, if both of these things actually happens, or any one of these, then what will happen? Definitely you might be paying more, not might, but actually you will be paying more as compared to if you had borrowed from the domestic market itself. So that is the reason why it is a kind of risk taking only, you can say. While companies might earn revenue in foreign currencies, this might not fully offset the risks for those borrowing extensively due to low interest rates. So this can actually create a lot of problem. Next question is, what is NBRI-Nihar recently mentioned in news? First is a type of lotus cultivated by CSIR. Second option is a variant of aloe vera. Third is a form of genetically modified plant. And the last one is a vaccine created from plant sources. So these are the four options. Now you have to choose your answer. So answer is option B, a variant of the aloe vera. So this is actually wrong over here. This is the first option is first, a type of lotus cultivated by the CSIR. So this is the answer over here. By mistake, it was written as B. So answer is A over here. Okay, so CSR, a new lotus variety, Namo 108, a grand gift to PM Modi, Science Minister. So this is the one, this is the variety which has actually been developed by CSIR, lotus flower, which has been named as the Namo 108. Okay, so this is it related to today's current affairs MCQs. I hope you people enjoyed it, and I will be doing that correction, and I'll post this PDF over there on our Tathastu channel of current affairs channel. Okay, I'll share the PDF over there. Okay, so see you in the next class. Bye bye, take care and have a great time.